Good evening, ladies. I'm going to wait just a couple seconds here to allow people to jump on and join. Normally when I do a video, I just jump in and I start talking. So give some time for people to jump in tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 12 traits of the great. So this was a book that I've read before, and it's absolutely amazing. Good evening, Leah. How are you? Thank you for joining tonight. So I was saying that this is the book that I'm going to be talking about tonight, and hopefully I get through all 12. But if I make it through 6, then I'll come back Friday evening and do the other 6. And for the sake of time and to respect your time, I'm going to go on and get started. So the first trait is responsibility. So in this book, he talks about the 12 undeniable qualities of uncommon achievers and how you can master them in your own life right now. So that's what he's talking about in this book, and he goes over these 12 different traits that he believes that that we should have. So the first one is responsibility. And he says most people want to see change in their lives, change for the better. They want to grow, they want to learn. So I truly believe that that is us in this group. We want to grow. Good evening, Glennis. We want to grow. We want to learn. We don't want to be in the same place that we were in 2019, which is why we do things to help us grow past a certain point. They want to take the stagnant parts of their lives and revive them. How many of us have stagnant parts in our life that we feel that need to be revived? Now, there are some things that don't need to be revived. They need to stay stagnant because they weren't healthy for us from the beginning, right? Relationships. Some of our relationships need to stay stagnant. I have this thing where I saw this quote that said, if the past calls you, let it go to voicemail. It has nothing new to say. And that's even with the things that have happened to us in our past. A lot of times our mind wants to take us back to those things that are not healthy for us, that are not good for us. So if it's in the past, let it go. This is the book I'm talking about, Glennis, the 12 Traits of the Great. I think you can see it better if I hold it over here. So it's by Dr. Dave Martin. It is a great book if you have time to read it. It may be available on audio, but I would, if you got audio, listen to it on your drive to work or wherever you need to listen to it at. He also said that 12 Traits of the Greats, they want to win the battles they have been losing most of their lives. There are certain battles that I've been losing most of my life because I had this dependence on others, and then I had to learn to be more self-sufficient. I had to learn to adjust. I had to learn to be flexible, and I had to learn to do some things on my own. So one of the characteristics he says is they want to win the battles that they haven't been able to win. So what battles are you all facing that you haven't been able to win? And when we do that, it kind of holds us hostage, keeps us from moving forward when we keep fighting the same battle. So those are some things that he said. He says, but you cannot change what you're not responsible for. So what are some things that you're responsible for that, or I say we, what are some things that we're responsible for that we're not doing anything with it in order for it to change? All right. So we have to make changes for things that we are responsible for. But then he said that things we are not responsible for, we cannot change. Things that other people are responsible for, things that they have to do. If we do them, does it really change their behavior? So think about that. If we keep doing what somebody else is responsible for, does it change their behavior, or does it make them think, oh, Glennis is going to do it, I don't have to do it. Or Leah's got it. She's got my back. I don't have to worry about doing anything because I know she's going to take care of it and we're good to go, right? So we have to make sure that things that we're not responsible for, that we don't go and try to start people's responsibilities. So if you want to change, you have some work to do. The person with the power to change something is the person who needs to be doing the change. He said the cold hard truth is that you are living at this very moment the results of your past choices and your past decisions. So with that, we're responsible for whether we allow those past decisions to affect us in any way. If we allow those past decisions to cause us to not be able to move forward. If we allow past decisions to keep us from forgiving ourselves or from forgiving others. I think that one of the things Coach Dina mentioned when she did her presentation was the importance of forgiveness. When we don't forgive, it can keep us bound. And a lot of times, what do? We'll forgive other people, but then we don't forgive ourselves for the things that we've done. And this is a transplant platform. I had to go through stages of forgiving myself for either the brother or the sister that my two sons don't have right now, because of a decision that I allowed someone to pressure me into. So I had to go through a healing process in order to get past that moment. I had to take my ownership of not standing up for myself. I had to take my ownership of allowing somebody to pressure me to do something that I knew was wrong and I didn't want to do. It doesn't take away the memory, because the memory's still there. I still remember what I had on the day I went to the clinic. But forgiving myself was healing for me. It was healing for my children because I'd taken on self-destructive behavior. So I had to take responsibility for what I had done and what I had not done. I'm going to move on to the next trait, which is mindset. So mindset, what do we think about ourselves, right? I am big on the things that I say out of my mouth and the things that I think. Now, I'm not saying that whenever a negative thought comes, I just kind of toss it away. Let's be honest, we all have negative thoughts that come and we give it way more attention than what we're supposed to give it, right? So we have to make sure that we're not giving in to the things that happen in our mind or the thoughts that come to our mind. What we can do is be attentive to what we are thinking about and change that thought. Change that thought to something that's good. Take away the negative, the evil thoughts that we know Satan pops into our minds. So he says that faith in yourself, therefore, is the ability to see before it grows to maturity, your own potential, not everybody else's potential, your own potential, and a vision of where you have the capacity to go before you actually get there. So it's having faith in your potential and seeing where you want to go and where you want to be before you actually get there. So that is faith, the faith that we have to have in our mindset of where we're going, what we're doing. And thank you, Leah. It's just a blessing to have gone through the healing process, and I understand too, Glennis. So it is what we think about ourselves and where we go. Faith is the ability to see a picture clearly in your own mind of who you are and what you're created to be and do before those things actually become reality, right? So we have to use our imagination. So what is your imagination? What is your faith telling you? what is it that you have faith in, Glennis and Leah, that you are believing in? What vision is it that you're putting in your in your thoughts of where you want to go? One of the things that we're going to do is a vision board. Good evening, Kiwani. One of the things that we're going to do is a vision board. And you know, the word tells us where there is no vision, the people perish. So we're either vision board or vision book. And he talks about that in this book, under the mindset of what vision do you have for where you want to go? Have you established a vision? And then in the book, he also talks about you have the vision. Now, what are the actual steps that you're going to take to get to that vision? Okay, have you set up and established actual steps in order to get there? If your self-conscious is genuine, faith and fact must merge. So your self-conscious, your faith and your facts, they have to merge together. Hi, Ruth. I didn't have my phone close enough to try to text you, so my apologies. So your faith and your facts must merge. So the word tells us that faith without works is dead. So I have faith, but do I have the facts in my action steps to get me to that vision that I just talked about? So type in the chat box for me, what are your visions? What are your goals? You don't have to give like a full, a full explanation, but just give us an idea of what your vision and your goals are. And then what I want to do is I want to write those in my prayer journal so that I can be praying over you throughout this week about your vision and your goals. So what vision do you have that you're going to put faith, actions, and facts in place so that that vision that you have in your mind, so that it can come to pass, okay? So that's under our mindset. I'm going to read these. Now I'm on passion. Passion should be next, yes. So I want to read these characteristics of passion. I'm just going to give you the names of them because I'm already 12 minutes in and I'm just on passion. Sorry. All right, so in the book, The Passion Plan, so he references this book in his book. He said, according to Chang, passion it's natural. So your passion is natural. It's something that you easily do. It's dynamic. It's the ability to grow new areas and spread in new directions. So that's what dynamic is. Passion is empowering. Passion creates a vision and energy for living, giving purpose and direction. So does your passion give purpose, direction, and empower others? And it's unconditional. Passion is unwavering. So I connect these two together. Does it give purpose and direction for life? And it's unwavering. We have to remember that regardless of the platform that we're on, regardless of what our passion is, we have to remember that passion is unconditional. Passion is unconditional as to how many people watch your live post. Because let's be real, some people are going to chime in for certain people and not chime in for others. It's not how many people like your post. It's not who sponsors your event and who doesn't. It's not even whether, I'm just going to break it down. It's not even whether your family supports your purpose. I talk to women and they'll say, you know what, my family doesn't even come to my events. My family doesn't even support me on this, that, or the other. And I have to tell them, your purpose may not be for them. Keep doing what you're doing and don't give up on it because you don't have the support of certain people that you're expecting to have support from, or because, certain people aren't liking your post or they're not coming to your events and you see them at everybody else's event. That's okay. Who needs to be there for you? Guess what? They are there for you. And I have to make sure that I'm mindful of the people that I support, right? So I literally have a circle ring on a huge Post-it note here in the house with names on them so that I can make sure at least once a week I go into their page and I look at stuff that's on there, and each week that name, you know, different name or another name gets added on. So I make sure that I go in and I look at the things on their page for support, because you want to make sure you, as people are supporting you, that you put out that same support. Because if people find that that they're already supporting you, but you're not supporting them, then they'll start tapering off on something that you have that's great, that'll help everybody. So I do try to make sure I do that. Now, there's 4 things that he says passion is not. It is not an addiction. It is not talent. We're all talented at a lot, but it may not be our passion. It is not forced. So if you're thinking that something is your goal, it's your passion, and you feel like you're being forced to do it, you really don't have the energy to do it, that may not be a passion. So you might want to think about that. And here's the thing, sometimes we see other people doing all this great stuff, and because we see them doing it, we think, ooh, I need to get on that too. I need to start doing this. I need to start doing that, because they are killing it within that area. That may not be for you. There's no way, I'm flat, I tell you, flat out. I am not getting ready to do anything on finances because that is not my lane. I'm not going to do it. I literally searched out people, women, to do a finance presentation for us on a Monday night, because that's not my lane. I think my sister Ruth asked about writing a book. I was like, I've written 2 books, but how about we hear from an editor who can give us more tips, more nuggets, and all of that when it comes to writing a book. So I searched out somebody for that. So just because other people are doing it doesn't mean it's for you. I could say I'm an editor because I know how to read. I know how to do sentence flow structures from reading and writing all them papers, but that's not my lane. I would have to sit here hours on end reading books and editing and no, leave that to the people who know how to do it, right? And then you provide that support other way. And your passion is not fleeting. There's another scripture in the Bible where it talks about here today, gone tomorrow. Yeah, so if you think something is your passion and today you rah, let's get this done. And then, 2 or 3 days later, you're like, yeah, no, not really. Is that really your passion? Because it's not fleeting. It doesn't come and go. It doesn't wax and wane. So that is that. Over time, I thought this was so good. Yes, I'm going to read it. Over time, people often allow other people and their own negative emotions to steal their dreams. Raise your hand, because I got mine raised. If you have allowed other negative people, their negative emotions, their negative thoughts to steal your dream. I had a dream and a passion. It had to be before 2001, before I moved out here, to go to school. I was already a nurse, but I had a passion to go to school for journalism, to be a news anchor. Now, granted, now I'm the person that I'm like, I don't want to be on video. I'll work in the background. Because when I do a Facebook Live, it takes everything in me to do it. But I'm going to get over that this year in 2020, and you all going to help me do it. But I allowed the person to say, you're too old to go to school to be a journalist. I'm thinking to myself now, I'm like, I could have been Robin Givens. She's still doing her thing at the age she's at. And I don't really think she's that old, but still, I let somebody kill a dream that I had with their negative thoughts, their negative emotions, their negative response when I shared a dream too soon. I can't remember if that's in his book or not, but we share dreams too soon when they're not supposed to be shared. And then people who don't understand it, what do? Crush the dream, try to kill the dream, tell you that never worked. Why are you doing that? Okay. He talks more about visualizing your dream. So you want to make sure that you visualize your dream. Oh, write down your dream. Write it down. And I'm trying to remember what the scripture is that talks about writing down your dream. Somebody find that for me and pop it in there. And it normally comes to my head when I'm not really thinking about it. All right, imagination. Woo, I gotta move quick. Yeah, my dad is a pastor, so yeah, we kind of roll on and on. Hi, Tara. How are you? Let's see who else joined. There we go. All right, so we can't share with everybody. You're exactly right, Tara. They would smash your dreams. All right, so imagination, that's what I was on. So I'm gonna move on because I think I had like 4 or 5 pages on imagination, but what I'll do is come back and type some notes for you all. Because again, I want to respect your time. I'll come back and write notes of things that I'm not talking about. Relationships. Whew, we have to be careful of relationships. And I talked about this earlier about supporting others and making sure that you're in support of other people. All relationships are important on the journey to excellence, but in the professional arena and perhaps the personal arena too, no relationship is more important than the relationship you have with one or more mentors, people who can inspire and teach you throughout life. So I have often said, and I've heard other people say, is that coaches need coaches too, okay? And you may hear people saying, well, pastors need pastors too, right? So mentors need mentors as well, because how do we continue to learn and grow? We need people who are going to be influencers in our life, as well as we be influencers in their life. And he talks about that in the book, and I'm just going to sum it up to where he says, make sure that as you're pouring into others, that you are sitting so other people can pour into you. Because what happens a lot of times, ladies, and I know you know what I'm getting ready to say, we pour into others so much, and then what happens? Our cup is empty. We sitting like, I don't have anything else to give. Why? Because we have poured out so much to other people and forgot to replenish ourselves. As Patience says, we forget to take deep breaths. As Tara says, we forget about those small steps as we jumpstart to success. We forget to celebrate those small wins as we jump to success. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're taking the necessary steps of being poured into as we pour into others. And I'll tell you, if you're not a part of another group in social media, and I've deleted myself from some of them, find yourself other groups. And there are ladies in this chat now who have some powerful groups who are also focused on mental, emotional, and spiritual health. It's not all about the physical, the body. It's about the mental, the spiritual, the emotional as well. So you want to make sure you connect with other people. And now let's see, I'm gonna read this about focus because I've got 7 minutes. Focus equals direction. Focus also equals power and strength. So if you're focused on something and you're giving it the attention and the detail that it needs, it is going to result in power and strength. So somebody type for me, focus equals power and strength. That's what we're going to get if we do that. Because focus better harnesses the attributes that one has in hand and pools those limited resources in order to more effectively achieve a goal. So if we're focused, we're going to achieve our goal a whole lot better. A focused approach, I like this, to a goal is much more powerful than a haphazard approach. So if we decide we're going to do something and just throw it up, then it's not going to be as effective as it is if we take time to plan and we take time to really be focused and detailed about what we're doing. Now, this is, I don't know, I can't remember if this is in his book, but there's a difference in being detailed and consistently changing details and seeking perfection. No matter how detailed out your plan is, no matter how much you read your book, once it's printed and once it's published and printed, you're going to go back and find a word, you're going to find a sentence and be like, how did I not miss? It's two these right there side by side. That's what happened with my first book. somewhere on the page where I think it's like the first 1 or 2 pages where you write out the none of this can be copyrighted, all that. It's 2 Ds right there side by side. Explain to me how I missed that. Right? So no matter how much we plan for an event, something is going to happen in that event. It's going to be learning for us for the next event, right? So nothing is going to be perfect. If you're looking for perfect, you're gonna run into some issues. I think one of the ladies in this group said, if you keep running after perfection, nothing is going to ever get done. I don't know if they said it on this page or on one of their pages that I went to. If you're running after perfection, you probably will never get started and things will never get done, okay? So we gotta leave that perfection mindset. Back to number 2, that perfection mindset is good to desire, but not try to seek perfection. All right, courage. If we are always waiting to get started, oh, I just said this, see? If we are always waiting to get started on our dreams and our goals, they will never grow. But if we start doing something today, no matter how small and seemingly insignificant, those daily baby steps will add up to recognizable results in the not so distant future. Now, somebody in this group is writing a book. I told her, write 750 words a day. So she had a focus. She has the courage to write the book. Because she has the focus, the desire, the courage to write the book, she's been excelling 750 words a day. All right. So congratulations, sister. All right. So she is going beyond her goal because she has the courage to do so. And she is persistent, which is our next word. Okay. Persistent is one of the most common qualities of great achievers. Great achievers often achieve great things simply because they refuse to give up. All right. So remember when I was talking about passion and it's unconditional? In your passion, you refuse to give up, regardless of who's supporting you, who's not, regardless of finances. He talks about that, or generosity, regardless of whether you see whether you have the finances or not. We never know when the finances are going to come sometimes, but we get blessed with those finances to do the things that we're supposed to do. All right, so I'm going to move on to I think I just did persistence. So we're going to move on to integrity. Yep. Here we go. Sooner or later, every man or woman will be forced to ask herself 3 very important questions that will tell him everything. I'm going to say tell her everything she needs to know about herself and her character. Did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I do it when I said I was going to do it? Did I stand behind it after I did it? Did I do what I said I was going to do? Can people count on you to do what you say you're going to do? Is the quality of what you're doing something that you're willing to stand by? And did you meet your deadline for when you were supposed to do that thing, right? So if somebody's depending on us, we have to make sure that we have the integrity to provide for them what it is that they're expecting. Character is just characterized, when it comes to great leaders, character is characterized by honesty. So that means that we're not just going to do everything or anything to get what we want from others. Trustworthiness, okay? If you're a coach and somebody comes to you in confidence to ask you something, do they trust you enough not to share? And then here's the thing, not just with the clients that you coach. What about your friend, your coworker, your family member? Are you somebody that they can trust not to share? A friend of mine says that I have this gift of forgetfulness, when actually I think it just goes back to some past trauma, where my brain was shattered. But if you tell me something and you ask me to pray for you about it, I pray about it, then I forget about it. Because I've had people say, you didn't come back and ask me about such and such. I'm like, you asked me to pray about it. I prayed about it. I forgot about it. And when that happens, I don't have to worry about sharing it with anybody because I don't remember it. And again, like I said, I think that comes from domestic violence and being in those relationships and If you've been in it, then you know what it feels like to get hit upside the head. And it also is another characteristic with integrity, dealing straight with every person they encounter, no matter the situation. So are you straight with everybody, or do you wax and wane on how you treat others? All right, I'm at 30 minutes. I've got 3 more to go through, so I'm gonna go through those real quick, okay? Because I want to respect your time. Adaptability. Adaptability is the positive quality of being able to sense the shift. This means that there's going to be a shift sometimes in our lives, personal and professional. Can we sense that shift, or do we try to stay trying to make things happen when they shouldn't be happening? Okay. Can we sense the shift in the wind direction and proactively adjust? So if you sense it, you already feel that something's getting ready to happen, something's getting ready to change. So can you proactively adjust your course to take advantage of the wind shift? Here's the other thing. Conformity is a weakness based upon fear of rejection. So when we conform to something, he says that we're demonstrating a weakness because we have a fear. We don't want people to reject us. Adaptability is a strength based upon confidence in oneself and one's own judgment and ability. So do you have that confidence to be able to adapt regardless of whether people stick with you or not? Okay. You can either change or you can be changed. I'm gonna drop the mic on that one and move on to wisdom. You can either change or you can be changed, one of the two. So for wisdom, he says real growth consists of increasing one's knowledge each day, each hour, and each minute, and then applying the information to real life in a way that changes one's behaviors and thus change your outcome of one's life. So basically what he's saying is wisdom is continuously learning and growing. It's reading the material and then putting it into action. Okay, it's not just reading and be like, oh, okay, there's no change in action. So wisdom is reading, getting more understanding, whether it's through reading, conferences, videos. I'm a YouTube junkie because I will watch, I will have sermon marathons. I will have motivational speaking marathons, because sometimes you got to motivate yourself. Remember, I said you can't give from an empty cup. So sometimes you got to find creative ways to fill your cup. And I'll put on YouTube on this TV and keep it moving, right? Because I need to fill my cup. All right. And then on generosity, a lot of things that he was saying in this chapter was basically how people see money. Some people see money as evil. Some people see money as good. God did not give us money for us to see it evil. It's the love of money, right? That is the root of all evil. He didn't say we're supposed to be poor, we're supposed to not have. He wants to bless us. Here's the thing. How are you being generous to others? Okay. How are you blessing others with what you have? Okay. That's what I'm going to say. And I'll be honest with you all, when I read this book and when I went back to it to start looking at it to go over for today, when I look at the generosity chapter, because throughout this book it's highlighted throughout. The generosity chapter, I think there's 2 underlines at the front of the chapter. And I will tell you, when I read this, I was in a marriage where I was working 3 jobs and the money was still just filtering out of the house. Couldn't tell you where it was going. I'm paying 2 car notes and a house note, mortgage, well, house note, mortgage, same thing. Insurance, everything that you can think of that goes into a house where there's 2 people and you're married and all that. Yeah. So the generosity chapter, and look, today I was looking like, why didn't I really read this chapter the way I should have? And it was like I got this nudging of, you were in a bad space financially and you probably didn't want to read anything about this. I'm just being honest with you. So I truly believe that that's what was happening at that time, because I did read this book during that marriage. And I pretty much can know from the nudging I got today that the reason I didn't read this generosity chapter, except for maybe the first 2 pages, is because of that. So ladies, that I'll put in some extra notes. I can't promise it'll be tonight. Hi, Cassandra. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Audra. Thank you. Oh, there's more people. Miss Joanne, thank you. I can't promise it'll be tonight because I got some other things I have to get done, but I will add some notes. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go back and read all the comments right now, but I'll go back and read them and watch the video again and read and respond. So thank you all so much for joining. And I love you all. And I don't just say that to be saying it. I really do love you all to life. And I want you to embrace life, love yourself, love others completely to life. And if you have any questions, you just want to connect, if you want, if you know of somebody who wants to speak or present, even if they're a practicing speaker, tell them they can come over here and practice their speech, and we can give them feedback. We can give them hoorahs or whatever we need to do to support them. I am not a selfish person. Anybody that knows me would tell you I am not selfish. Generosity, that's probably one of my top traits. That's me. I will give. All right. I love you all, and I will see you in our group. If there's anything you need me to do for you, for your group, to support you in any kind of way, please let me know. I'm the one that's going to help you. All right. Y'all have a great week, and I will talk to you later.